So today we're going to be playing trash get ball. You guys know we're in a review time before Georgia Milestone, before we start testing next week, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to play trash get ball, but I want to give you guys the rules. The fact that you guys are kind of familiar with trash get ball, but if I talk to your group before for any redirections, for off-task behavior, playing around, you will get points deducted. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Today, you're going to have the leveled table baskets are going to be worth 2 points. So the two baskets here, we have 2 baskets back here, we have 1 basket here. This one will probably be 1 point. This is kind of easier. But the table, my front tables and back table, and the one that's on the cart is going to be worth 2 points. The higher ones, like this basket, this one, and those 2 up there at the top is going to be worth 3 points, okay? 4-point baskets is going to be right here. We're only going to have 1 4-point basket above our library. That's going to be 4 points. And 5 points is obviously going to be our highest one above our cabinets. Everybody understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So, everybody is responsible for working out their problems on their whiteboard. We're going to be reviewing all skills, including every single standard we have learned this school year in math. So you will see all things during your packet through your review. Doing trash get ball, the rules of trash get ball, you're going to be placed into teams, which I already have done, 4 different teams. Each team will receive a sheet with worksheets in order to review. It's going to be 15 total. You got 15 total, so that means you have about maybe 6 to 7 people in each group. So every single person should have enough sheets in order to do 2 sheets individually. Or you can work together as a group to complete each sheet together, however you decide as a team, okay? You're working as a team and you will answer the questions on each worksheet, and it must be checked by me before you get your scratch paper to ball up to shoot your baskets, okay? Then, if any answers on your worksheet are wrong, I will not tell you which ones are wrong. I will definitely tell you that you need to go back and recheck your work. So that is going to be between you and your teammates to figure out which one is wrong. It must be 100% accurate because, again, we have testing next week, so we need to make sure that we are very knowledgeable about these skills. When you choose to shoot a 2-point or a 3-point, and because we have some 4-point and 5-point shots, you only take 1 shot. Every person in the group can take 1 shot. So, for example, Abigail is going to take a shot, Khalil will take a shot, Grace will take a shot, Ava will take a shot, and so will Ariana. All 5, and Davide. If all of their shots are made, all 6 people make their shots, that is going to be multiplied by that number of people that have made their shots. If only out of 6 people, only 2 people made their shot, then on those 2 points score, depending on the score, will be related to your score as a team. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Question?
One question. So say we after we shoot all everybody shoots once, do you like go back to the packet and like
Yes, you go back and go to the next sheet. Yeah, so once I check your first sheet, you get, and I say, yep, you're good to go and all of the answers are correct, you go shoot your shots, and then after you shoot your shots, you tell me how many baskets you made, I mark your total, you go back to your tables, and you work on the next sheet. Everybody understand that? Yes, Davide.
what if no one in your group gets
A point, a shot, then you gotta go back to, no points that round. And then you go back to your seat, and you still work on the next sheet, and try to work on it to get your opportunity to shoot baskets again. Yes, Ava?
So you must complete like one whole sheet in order to start shooting, and for the big pointers,
Yeah.
you can only shoot 1.
Yes. Every basket is only 1 shot per person. And the only time you get another shot opportunity will be for the next page. Okay? Yes, Ariana?
Ander, Abby, and Cora. Can I see them for just
Yeah.
a second?
Ander, Abby, and Cora. Go ahead to Miss Wardenly. Go ahead, Ariana. What's your question? Oh, probably just Abby. Because you want Abby that's a tag, right? Yep, Chuck will. Oh, 15? Because it's 15 sheets? Yeah. Yes, Abby?
Where would you stand, or do you
Table 6, waterfall.
Where do you stand, or do you just do it from your
you have to stand at least 5 feet away. I was getting there. You have to stand at least 5 feet away from each basket. No matter if it's a table level basket or if it's a higher point basket, you must be 5 feet away. Everybody understand that? You count 5 feet. You step back 5 feet, okay? Yep.
How do you keep track of which balls land in the baskets? How do you keep track of which ones?
So when they make the baskets, you tell me how many of the balls that went in, and I'm going to keep score. So if it gets full from another group going to that same basket, we'll just empty it out. Okay? Yes.
So like say you said 5 feet away, so you can get up and go and then walk off.
Yeah, but you can kind of guesstimate 5 or 6 feet. Yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly, but 5 or 6 feet, something that's not too close to be fair for everyone.
Or you could just do 5 blocks.
Yes, you can do 5 towels. That'll probably be best. 5 towels on the floor will be the best accurate measurement. Yes.
Each round, do we have like a time limit, or do we just end whenever everybody has done?
It ends once everybody has gotten a chance to shoot. You go back to your seat and work on the next page. All right? Yes, Autumn, one more question.
If one sheet goes wrong, does that mean that there are 2 total rounds?
Yes. Okay. Any other question? Addison, you have a question? No? All right. So then each member of the team will get to shoot. It says twice, but because we have big groups, we're only going to do once, okay? And the most points that wins at the end is going to be our winner. Our team is going to be the winner for that, or after our 15 rounds. Everybody got it?
15.
And yes, it's 15 rounds. Remember, it's 15 sheets. So the rounds are not going to take you long at all. Should be about maybe 5 to 7 minutes each. So it shouldn't take long at all. All right, this is where Ms. Hill's going to record your points for team 1 through.
6.
No, we split up into 4 teams instead of 6. So I'll just go team 1, team 2, team 3, and team 4. I will write the points, and I will also be the one to check your papers. Let's look at those papers now that you have them. Turn them over. That first sheet. What do we notice about that first sheet? Solving with parentheses. That's one of our standard. What standard is that? When we solve. Wait. We're 5th graders, right? Well, soon to be 6th graders. Let's raise our hand. Ava. PEMDAS or terms. We're solving in terms. Good. Order of operation. Kyle, let's get in our seat while I'm going. Just move it up, or you can look at it after I'm done with it, okay? But let's have a seat. So, Ava, can you repeat it again?
PEMDAS terms or order of operation.
We're not going to call it PEMDAS, but we're going to say we're going to solve in terms, or we're going to be solving order of operation. What is the most important thing when we're solving in order of operations?
To do it in the right order, because like you have to make sure that when the terms you're doing one term at a time, you're not like combining two. You're not taking 2 numbers from 2 different terms and then doing that.
That operation?
Yeah, operation.
That operation. Good. So we remember the fact that terms are split up by what? Subtraction and adding. Terms are separated by subtraction and addition. And anything in between that is considered a term, right? So that is your round 1. You're going to be solving all 15 questions. Let's go to the next one. Elliot, put away the fidget, please. Addison, can you tell me what are we doing here?
Rewriting equations.
Okay, when we're rewriting equations, what are we doing?
We're gonna write them in number forms.
What's the proper word of saying number form? Instead of saying number form, Grace?
Standard form.
Standard form. We're going to be writing in standard form, right? You're absolutely right. We're going to read each one of these expressions and we're going to write them in standard form. Any questions about that second round? Remember numerical expressions, right?
I have done the design questions this weekend. Just make sure not to put the answer to the problem.
Say it again, Ava. Table 6, are you listening?
Do not put the answer to the problem because that's a simple mistake that I done.
Yep, it's a simple mistake. Don't put the answer to it because these are expressions. Do we need answer for expressions?
No.
No, we do not. Let's look at round 3. Can you let me know round 3, Cora? What are we doing?
We're doing coordinate graphing.
Uh-huh.
And
And we're using what?
we're using patterns.
There we go. What is the key thing about patterns?
Numerical patterns.
Numerical patterns. What are the key thing about numerical patterns?
That they can be converted. They are like I forgot the name,
It's okay.
but they're
Once you create 2 patterns, an input and output table, they can be formed into what?
relationship.
Order.
Order operations.
No,
Pairs.
order pairs.
Oh yeah.
Ordered pairs. They can be formed into ordered pairs. So we have an input-output table that we're going to be creating with our pattern sequence, and then you're going to turn those input and output answers into a ordered pair to be able to graph. Everybody understand that? Let's go to round 4. Go ahead. Make sure you sign out, Maddox. Round 4. Go ahead, Ariana.
That is finding digit value with decimals.
Finding digit value with decimals. What are we doing with that one?
So we're trying to identify the digit of the underlying
Of the underlying digit. Ander, can you explain to me the underlying digit for that first one? It was done for us. How did they tell us to write the value of it? Did they just say it was 2?
No.
No, how did they do it?
2 100.
2 100.
Because it's in the hundredth place.
Because it's in the hundreds place. So you're going to give me the value of that decimal in its actual place value. You're going to give me the value of that number, not just the number itself. Everybody understand? Any questions about that round? All right, let's move on to the next one. Examining place value digits. Jamie, tell me, what are we doing there? We're comparing values, right? Everybody see we're comparing? Remember that standard at the beginning of the year where we had to figure out if it was 10 times more or 1/10 less, right? If it was multiplying or if it was dividing. You guys remember that? This is all based off of place value. Any questions about that round? Go ahead, Ariana.
So when we're comparing, is it like do we have to do the same number?
Yeah.
Like,
Let me ask, that's a good question. You guys remember earlier this year we talked about this, Ander and Ethan, we talked about this, the fact that we can't compare a 4 in, say for example, if I have, this number. Can somebody read that number for me, please? Grace?
3 and 432,000.
3 and 432,000. I love the fact that you read that exactly the way it should be. Now, can I compare the 4 and the 3, Grace? The 4 in tens place and compare the 3 in the hundreds place.
Yes.
I can compare it? Do they have the same value?
Or no?
Ah, I can't compare it. Why?
Because
Go ahead.
one's in the tens and the other's in the hundreds.
Yeah, but those are 2 different values for place value. But why can't I compare them though? Cambry. They don't have the same number value. Ava, what did you want to add to that?
I was going to say you must be able to compare it with the powers of 10 because if it's not the same digit, even if it's in a different place, you can't compare it. It must be able to be compared with the powers of 10.
It must be compared based off powers of 10. Now, what number would I be able to compare here, Jaden?
You would be able to compare the 3 in the ones place.
3 in the ones place and the what?
The 3 in the hundreds place.
And the 3 in the hundreds place. I will compare those. So if you look at your papers on this round, you are going to be comparing only the underlying digit that is exact same value and a different place value. Everybody understand that? So please make sure that you're comparing the same exact digit So that way you can figure out which one is going to be 10 times greater, 100 times greater, or 1/10 the value of another place value. Everybody understand? Yes? Any questions about that? Okay, let's move on to the next round. What's the next sheet? Oh, one more question, Ava.
So when you're writing, are you gonna write like 10 times greater or 100 times greater, or are you gonna write like times 10 or like
1/10.
1/10?
You can do 1/10, or you can do 10 or the little X sign in a 10, or you can put the greater or less than. You can do either one. I'll accept either answer. Everybody okay? Everybody understand Ava's question?
Yes.
Yes, table 6, you heard her?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next round. What's our next one? Somebody from table 6 tell me, what are we doing there?
1 minute, we're trying to turn it.
Oh, it's okay.
I think you guys are going to identifying decimal equation.
Oh, you did go too far. I think you skipped a page.
Multiplying and dividing.
Multiplying and dividing powers of 10. This goes back to Ava and what she said earlier about needing to be able to compare based off of powers of 10. So this one we're going to be looking at if our number is getting what?
Bigger.
Or
Smaller.
good. There we go. Let's go to the next round. We remember those powers of 10, right?
Yes.
What is 10 to the 0 power?
1.
Huh? 1. What's 10 to the first?
10.
10 to the second?
100.
10 to the third?
1,000.
Okay, so we see that pattern and we remember it. Yes, Ava.
67 with like the exponents and stuff. Because the exponent is how many zeros it has.
And the exponent is how many zeros? That's the exponential value of it. Yes.
Yeah, I noticed in exponents, when you have like a negative exponent,
Stop with the marker, please.
it divides the number by itself.
Good. It definitely divides because of that number is what? Is less than a whole. Good. Let's go ahead to the next round. What would that next round be?
What?
The identifying decimals.
Oh, so you're just converting it into word form.
Okay, and you're just converting it into what?
Word form.
Word form. Oh, you're the one after, the round after. I'm talking about the identifying decimal equation pattern. What are we doing there, Jaden? The identifying decimal equation patterns. What are we doing at that one?
Powers of 10?
We are doing powers of 10, but also doing what, Jaden? We have to figure out where we,
Put the decimal?
where what? I can't read.
Put the decimal?
Where will we put the decimal? Or if we're going to be dividing or multiplying, what is the power of 10 that we divided or multiplied? And also where we what?
Start.
Where we started. Because notice that there's a value, if you look at that round. Okay, you can put it in my board, baby. Look, table 6, look at that sheet. You notice that some of them have a missing value at the beginning, right? So you're going to have to figure out where you began in order to figure out where the answer value came from. Let's go to the next one. Cora already told us we're going to be writing it in
Word form.
word form. Good. Let's move on to the next round. Comparing decimals to the thousands place. This is our 5th grade standard, right? We can compare a lot higher if we go into our 6th grade standard, but comparing to the thousands is our 5th grade standard. How will we compare? What values will we put in that blank? Gabby?
The first one?
What values will we put in that blank? Greater than? What else, Jamie? Less than, and what else, Autumn? Greater than, less than, or equal to. That's what we should see there. Next round is rounding decimals. What do we notice about all of these questions? What is the highest we're going to round to? Thousands. Now, what do we know? In order to round properly, what is the kind of the mnemonic or the saying that we reminded ourselves how to round? No, not keep. It's okay. 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. You probably want to add that note on that round too to remind yourself. The next round is going to be Multiplication. We're going to be doing standard what? Standard algorithm. But on your whiteboards, if you want to use a different strategy, because according to our standard, Elliot and Jaden, according to our standard, do we have to use standard algorithm? No. What does our standard tell us we can do, Khalil?
It's like you have to multiply the numbers, like use an efficient strategy, but it's like, it's kind of like if you want to write 800, 98, and 8 tenths, you have to write 8 times 100.
Well, that's exponential form. The exponential exponential notation you're thinking about. But if I was doing regular multiplication, Wyatt, help them out a little bit. What does our standard say we need to know about multiplying whole digit numbers?
You have to use the strategy that works best for you.
That works best for you. Maddox. So we have to use an efficient strategy. Maddox, if I have to talk to you again, we're going to lose a star today. Okay? Because I'm going over directions and you're not paying attention over there. So we're going to use an efficient strategy because we do not have to use standard algorithm. So if you want to solve differently on your whiteboard, you absolutely can. Everybody understand that? All right, let's move on. Our next round says, Gunner, division word problems. What do we else we know about division? What does our standard say about division? Efficient strategy. So you can use partial quotient, you can use standard algorithm, you can use the box method, your choice, but that's how you solve on your whiteboard. Everybody must solve on their whiteboard and show their work before you guys agree to put that answer on your paper, okay? And you will also have remainders. If we have remainders, how can we write them? Ava.
You can write them as
Our quotient, how can we write it?
Start at the top, go around back to the top, because you have your answer, and then you have the remainder, and then the number that
The
you're
divisor?
dividing by, the divisor, and you put the remainder on top of it, and the divisor becomes the denominator, and the remainder becomes the numerator, and then you can turn it into a fraction. But if it's like tenths or something, or you can easily change it to tenths, then you can also write it as a decimal.
Good. We can write a decimal in, Cambry, I heard you whisper it. It's going to turn into a fraction what? Fraction greater than 1. Yes, Jamie? You can. You absolutely can write it as a decimal, or you can write it as a fraction greater than 1. Everybody got that? Yeah. Table 6. This is now your second warning. You all have lost a star. Because you're not focused over there. Let's go ahead and move on. Subtracting decimals. What do we know about subtracting, adding decimals? We have to do what, Addison?
You have to line up the decimal.
Line up the decimal, and we might need placeholder zeros, right? Okay? So that should be pretty simple for us to do. And that's going to be the next 2 rounds, because the next round after that is, actually, no, this is fractions. What do we know about adding and subtracting fractions, Gunnar?
You find the common denominator.
We must find the common denominator in order to add and subtract. And then if it's an improper fraction, what should we do?
Simplify.
What do we do? So what? We could use method 2, but if we were regrouping with subtracting, but if it's an improper fraction, we should divide it and make it into a fraction greater than a whole. And we can use either method 1 or method 2, okay? Let's go ahead and continue. Fractions as division. We should know how to write those, right?
Yes.
Okay, pretty simple. Any questions about fractions as division before we move on?
You said the strategy for the new student, thought of it as leading it to the right or the left?
Yeah, I already got that.
You said, I can't hear you. Repeat it again.
One just said, try to make one of your other students use a different grade.
That she used like a chain where you move it to the left or the right.
Oh yeah, when you shift the fraction to the left. Yes, yeah, to the left. Yep. And then that's how you can figure out if it's going to be your numerator or your denominator.
The number on the inside is
Is your dividend?
Yeah, the dividend is the denominator.
Correct. No, you're going to turn them into a fraction greater than a whole. So notice all of these are improper fractions, so we're going to turn them into a fraction greater than a whole. Okay? And then next we have finding fraction products. So that's going to be multiplying fractions with what? Scaling. If I'm multiplying a fraction that looks like a whole, is it going to be equal to, greater than, or less than?
Fraction that's greater than a whole?
No, if I'm multiplying a fraction that looks like a whole, like 3/3, what will my answer look like?
Equal to.
It will be equal to. Why would it be equal to?
Because 3/3 is equal to 1.
Because it's multiplying by 1. What if I'm multiplying a fraction by a improper? What would that answer be?
Greater.
Greater than. Good. If I'm multiplying a fraction that is a unit fraction, what would that answer look like?
Less than.
Less than. That is all scaling. And then we have a few more rounds. We have dividing unit fractions. You will be able to draw models. The next one is also dividing unit fractions. We're going to have conversions. This is going to be what? King, drinking chocolate milk. Yep. Drinking chocolate milk. And then the next one is going to be converting American lengths. We should know those. And then lastly, we're going into what? Volume. And coordinate planes. We should be able to graph those. All right, so we're ready to start our rounds?
Yeah.
All right, any questions before we start? Table 6, do we have any questions?
No.
No? All right, so your timer begins now.
Why does each subject
Everyone must solve. Everyone must show their work on their whiteboard. Just call off the problem so that way they can write it on their board. One person should be giving you the answers, but everyone should be working them out. I'm giving you some balled up balls, and you can have them.
Somebody write 15 is 10.
Okay.